कदामयम ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम। श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त की जय। रीडिंग फ्रॉम चैतन्य चरितामृत आदि लीला chapter 1, the spiritual master's title, verse number I think 63, 64, 64, 65, otherwise yeah, 64, 65, just two verses, 65, 66 as well. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. So this Adi Leela sets the context for first chapter sets the context for all pretty much all 17 chapters of Adi Leela. This chapter has 110 verses. Adi Leela has 17 chapters. So basically, these chapters of Adi Leela describe three things. Sri Krishna Das Goswami describes. For that, let us offer our respectful obeisance to Sri Krishna Das Goswami and his spiritual master, Siksha Gurus, Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and his direct initiating spiritual master, Lord Nityananda Ram, Lord Nityananda Balaram. Sri Rupa Raghunath Pade Arayas, Caitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Das. Every chapter is submitting to Rupa and Raghunath because they are the two instructing spiritual masters. In order for him to write, has received the greatest mercy of Lord Nityananda Balaram, and then gradually received these two personalities, Rupa and Raghunath. Then further, even from the deities, Radha Madan Mohan directly intervened and gave the mercy and blessings. So that's how this particular Chaitanya Charitamrita has come about, is giving. So that's why Chaitanya Charitamrita is so unique and most sublime. We get all the mercy where it is mentioned. Sruyatam Sruyatam Nityam Chintyatam Giyatam Giyatam Muda Chintyatam Chintyatam Bhaktas Chaitanya Charitamritam. One should read and hear Sruyatam Sruyatam Nityam every day. Giyatam Giyatam Muda, one not sung with great happiness. Chintyatam, one should meditate. Then one get the Krishna Prema. Chaitanya Charitamrita Nitya Nutana. So it's everlasting, and Hridaya Sravana. The ear and the heart becomes passive. Jodaya Hridaya Sravana. The ear and heart will become pacified every day. It becomes give new meanings, new messages. And so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as per through the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Sankirtana Hoite Sarva Anardanas, Sarva Subhodaya Krishna Primera Ullas. It will remove all the dirtiness, contamination, Sarva Anardas, and it is the most auspicious. Especially on Ekadasi and Sarva Anardanas, Sarva Subhodaya, and Krishna Premera Ullas. To use the ecstatic concept, Krishna Prema. So, Sankirtana Haite Papa Samsara Nas, Sarva Bhakti Sadhana Udgama. So, this Sankirtan gives all the process is needed to attain Krishna. Sarva Bhakti Sadhana, the process of Bhakti, Udgama, it gives essence of all that. Further it is mentioned, Krishna Premodgama, Prema Amrita Ullas, Krishna Premodgama, Krishna Premamrita Aswadana. And last line I'm forgetting. So it increases the ecstatic love for Krishna, prema udgama, and premamrita aswadana. One will drink this in this concentrated bliss of Krishna prema and engaging in loving pure devotion service with the Lord. So this is the beginning. So that's why we should read and hear, and especially one should hear for quite some time to understand Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then one reads, then it easy, because Adi Leela is lots of philosophy, Chaitanya Charitamrita especially. There are 8 to 10 books of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. This is a prominent book, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada has translated. Originally, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given translation. Then Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, and that's why every chapter you will see from Madhya Leela onwards. Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, Prabhupada writes first summary. That is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then on top of it, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur has given a commentary. Then Sri Prabhupada has given his translation on top of it, which is started in 1968 or so in Hawaii. Gaura Sundar and Govinda Dasi, they were interested, they were already started reading and trying to read from TLC and other places of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. Then Sri Prabhupada was pleased to hear, okay, try, start the translation of Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's how it started. And going back to this chapter 1, setting the 3 things by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. First thing is offering obeisances. First thing is defining the objective, supreme object, which is supreme absolute truth, Sri Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, non-different. And second is offering obeisances. And third thing is offering benedictions. These are the 3 things set context in this particular chapter 1, Spiritual Masters. Start with Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isavataran Tat Prakasam Tat Shaktin Krishna Chaitanya Sangnakam. This is a prominent verse, 6 verses, because today's verse is all connected. To understand the context of today's 2 verses, so we should know what's going on in the chapter 1, how this Adi Leela is laid out. Because this today's verse is talking about the second aspect. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan. Isha Bhaktan means the devotees of the Lord, graduates and apprentices, sadhakas and eternal associates, perfected devotees. That's how Sri Prabhupada translates it in few verses in this chapter. So Vande Gurun, this Gurun, plural, because Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru. One is initiating spiritual master, in this case Krishnadas Gaviraj Goswami initiating directly Lord Nityananda Balram, and instructing could be many, so or few. That is Sri Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, in this case of Krishnadas Gaviraj Goswami. So in everyone's devotee's life, these 2 are prominent. Vande Guru, Isha Bhaktam, and devotees to sadhakas and eternal associates, parishats or eternal associate Nitya parishats, and apprentices means practitioners, sadhaka bhaktas. So that is second category. And then Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Ishavatarakan. Ishavatarakan means 3 divisions are there. That is the next verse which we are going to discuss 3 divisions of these manifestations or incarnations, we should call incarnations, which has 3 subcategories. We'll come to that. Isha Bhaktan, Isha Avatarakan, Tat Prakasams. These are manifestations, Prakash and Vilas. Lord Krishna is Prakash. Vilas is Lord Balaram and Lord Narayan, Chaturvyuha. Tat Shaktin, the Tat Shakti means Shakti Tattva category. 3 Shaktis from Srimati Radharani to Gopis of Vrindavan, then the Dwaraka queens of queens, and then Lakshmis, and then further down is Durga. So of this material world. So that is Shakti. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Krishna himself, Krishna Chaitanya Sanganakam. These are the 6 aspects, absolute truth, 6 things in one. So this is how the first verse laid out. So 110 verses, out of that 14 verses are very prominent, 14 plus 3 deities. The 14 verses are basically defining the first verse is defining the six aspects as I explained. Second verse is defining offering the glories, mercy, seeking mercy and offering obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Krishna and Lord Balram. As you can see here, Panchatattva, right now today's darshan, Mangalarati darshan at Sridham Mayapur. So middle is Krishna, right side to him is Lord Nityananda Balram, Krishna and Balram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Balram. She's offering that second chapter, second verse, and then the third verse is describing absolute truth, his effulgence, Tanubha, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Paratattvam, Krishnat, Paramiha, Paratattvam. So, is the supreme absolute Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different, same personality. There is no superior truth than him. Third verse is establishing supreme absolute truth. The fourth verse is establishing, offering benediction to all living entities, all conditioned souls without asking. Causeless mercy is providing. So, Narpita Charim Charat Karunaya Avatirna Kalo Samarpayitam Munnata Ujjvala Rasam, highest rasa, that is Krishna Prema. Swa Bhakti Srim Hari Purata Sundara Duti Kadamba Sandeep Sada Hridaya Kandare Sprato Vas Sachinandana. That's Sriman Mahaprabhu, son of Sachi Madan Jagannath Mishra, is offering his benedictions to all living entities. Fourth verse, and is also establishing external reasons of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is chanting the holy name, giving the holy name, and by that attaining Krishna Prema. That is external reason in the fourth verse. And the fifth and sixth verse, Sri Radha, Pranaya Vikriti, Aladani, Shakti Rasmat, from that verse, and sixth verse, fifth and sixth verse is establishing the internal reasons, confidential internal reasons of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna appearing as a devotee, confidential Channa avatar, is been described in fifth and sixth verse. These six verses are very prominent. And then 7 to 11 is Lord Nityananda Balram's glories are being described. And 12 to 13, two verses describing Advaita Acharya as Mahavishnu and Sadasiva, as you can see here, the rightmost, that is Advaita Acharya, Mahavishnu and Sadasiva, who is the one who called Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Narayan, called Krishna himself to give Krishna Prema by offering Ganga water and Saligram Sila Tulsi Puja, Tulsi leaves, is worshipping, he called. So that is two verses, 13 and 12 and 13. And 14 verse is describing the Pancha Tattva, as you can see, five truths. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Pancha Tattvatman Krishnam, Krishna, Bhakta Rupa Swarupam as a Bhakta Rupa, he has appeared. Bhaktavataram, Bhaktakyam, Namami Bhakta Sektikam. This is Bhakta Sektikam, Gadadhar Pandit, internal energy, Sekti Tattva, Jiva Tattva as a Narada Muni, pure devotee. Here is the incarnation, Bhakta Avatara is Mahavishnu and Sadasiv, is manifestation, first expansion is Balaram, these five truths. These are 14 verses are laid out, and then the three verses are describing to the three principal deities, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, who is a Sambandha Deva. Sambandha is a relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Lord, Radha Madan Mohan. Then second 16th verse is describing Radha Govinda Dev. Then next is practicing of devotion service, that is Govinda Dev, Abhideya deity, and then Prayojan, end goal is Radha Gopinath. These three deities are being described, 15, 16, 17. The whole elaboration of the next 100 till 110 verses is describing these 17 verses in detail. That's how this first chapter goes. And the Adilila goes expansion of these 14 verses, rather 17 verses to the 17 chapters. Because second chapter is describing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because first verse is describing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, otherwise there is no Chaitanya Caritamrita. So without him, so that the second chapter describing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes and is about himself. And third chapter is describing the external reasons, why he appeared, as per the external reason as holy name, chanting of the holy name. And the second reason also it gives, exactly it coincided with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna's appearance, or these unwanted things, establishing dharma. All this coincided, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance also came at the same time. That is describing secondary reason in third chapter. So connected from the first chapter. And then the fourth chapter describing the confidential reasons, fifth, sixth verse connected to the fourth chapter, internal reasons, confidential reasons. And then fifth verse is describing Lord Nityananda Balram glories from 7 to 11. So, and then the 12, 13 is Advaita Acharya's glory that is described in the next verse, sixth verse, sixth chapter, glories of Advaita Acharya. Then the seventh verse is describing the Panchatattva, which is described in the 14th verse. And then eighth chapter is describing the second verse. What is second verse? Glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditau Gaudodaye Pushpavanto Sandau Tamonadau. It dissipates the darkness and removes the ignorance by these two personalities, sun and moon, compared with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda Balaram. Without their mercy, one cannot. If you directly approach Krishna, that is also not adequate enough. You have to go through the Lord Nityananda. Balaram is representative, as we see in Raghunath Das Goswami's pastime, Danda, Danda Mahotsav. So Raghunath Das tried to approach Chaitanya Mahakrishna directly, which is not possible. So he indicated, then he got the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Then, so that is the eighth chapter, author receiving Guru and Krishna. Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru is not Jnana Balaram. So that is elaborately described in the eighth chapter. Then the ninth chapter goes further to explain the desire tree of devotion, because he is establishing absolute truth. So that has to be described. What is the desire tree of devotion service in the ninth chapter? And then the branches of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how is gardener himself, how is the trunk himself, and then various branches, almost 90 branches. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. That is in the 10th chapter. And then 11, 12 are describing the 11th is describing the sub branches of Lord Nityananda Balaram, big branch. And then the 12th chapter is describing Advaita Acharya and Gadadhar Pandit, so branches, sub branches. So, and then from there, from 13 to 17 is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. Advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is 13th, and 14, 15, 16, 17 is childhood pastimes, Pauganda, Kaumara, is youth, and then the Bali Leela, and then the last one is childhood, and then childhood and youth, the last 17 chapter. In this way, these 17 chapters are laid out, but it is connected to the first chapter. If you understand Adi Leela, if you understand especially the 14 plus 3, 17 verses, then you can understand the whole philosophy of the whole Adi Leela. If you don't understand these 14 plus 3, 17 verses, then you will not be able to understand the actual, the confidential details, philosophy, the essence of the 17 chapters of Adi Leela will become a mystery. It becomes difficult. So that's why we have laid the context in which, the lens in which you should read and study Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, PhD. As Sri Prabhupada calls it, because Bhagavad Gita's foundation. Further down is more detailed is Srimad Bhagavatam with examples, how the process works, with various grades of devotees from Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, different grades of devotees going through different scenarios, situations, so that we take the lessons. And Chaitanya Charitamrita explains even further by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again directly conducting himself, how a devotee is supposed to practice it, how to conduct devotional service, how to behave, how to associate, whom not to associate. Everything is describing by his own pastimes. So in this way, Chaitanya Charitamrita is laid out Adi Leela, and then Madhya Leela goes much more deep pastimes. Out of 48 years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived. First 24 years is before sannyas, that is Adi Leela. Madhya Leela is next 6 years, and then the next 12 plus 8, 18, no, 12 plus 6 is Antya Leela. So that's how these three different Leelas are described, Adi, Madhya and Antya. Original commentator of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastimes of Vrindavan Das Thakur. So that's in the where chapter in the author receives the order of Guru and Krishna. In that chapter, 8th chapter, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describing where did it start. Chaitanya Charitamrita started actually is describing the original. So where it started actually. So is describing that who has requested. First was requested by a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit Ananta Acharya, and his disciple is Pandita Haridas Goswami. He was describing, he has 50 qualities, Ananta Acharya, 50 qualities, pure devotee, so all of them. They were discussing already. Haridas Pandit and Anant Acharya was discussing the Chaitanya Mangal of Vrindavan Das Thakur already. And then some of the pastimes were left. Some of the pastimes were not described, later pastimes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that book. So then they requested Krishnadas Kaviraj, please write, please translate, please write about these pastimes. From there it started, and further, then there are more other devotees of Govinda, Radha Govinda Dev, so deities, Pujari, Govinda Goswami, Radha Madan Mohan's deity itself, and then few other devotees, Yadavacharya, Mukunda Ananda, Chakravarti, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. So all of them requested Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write. So that's why it's prominent, because one's not supposed to take up these important work, especially writing transcendental literature, without the empowerment of an acharya, empowerment of advanced devotees and sadhus. That's where he received. Then he went with that mercy, with that request of empowerment. Then he went and submitted to Radha Madan. Then and the Govinda Goswami was there, Pujari was there. Then immediately garland fell down, and then that garland was offered to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Then he received the greatest blessings and mercy. That's why he's writing. I didn't write this. It is directly Radha Madan Mohan is dictating. I'm just writing. I don't know anything. She is only giving everything. That's why he submits. Author receives order of Guru and Krishna. In the 8th chapter, he is elaborately describing this whole pastime of how did he receive. So now, in this particular verse, today is describing 64 verse. So let us look at the 64th verse. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, verse number 64. Sei Bhakta Gana Haya Dvividha Prakar Parishad Gana Eka Sadhaka Gana Ar. So before this, one should also know in this chapter that is being described, there are two things, two Bhagavat. Bhagavat bada, Bhagavat एक बड़ा भागवत शास्त्र और भागवत भक्त भक्ति भक्त रूप शास्त्र. Chaitanya Charitamrita describing Adi Leela, first chapter, I think 100th verse or so. That there are two Bhagavats. First one is Srimad Bhagavatam, is a book Bhagavata, and then the person Bhagavata, devotee, pure devotee of the Lord is the, and through him one can understand and practice devotion, understand devotional service, bhakti, and he can practice it. That is very important. So from there, you can understand now. See Bhakta Gana, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Such pure devotees are of two types: personal associates, parishads, and neophyte devotees, sadhakas. Because Sei Bhakta Gana Hayat Vida Prakar, two types. First one is parishads, eternal associate, Nitya Siddha Bhakta, you can call it. And then Sadhak Gana is apprentice or practitioners, neophyte devotees, you can name many different ways. So that is a sadhaka, these two categories. Because he has already explained Vande Gurun. So that is instructing spiritual master and initiating spiritual master. There also important instruction is there in verse number 35. 31, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describing that Sakala Vaishnava Sune Eka Mana. With one point attention, Sakala Vaishnava, all Vaishnavas, please hear attentively. Attentively this transcendental literature of Chaitanya Charitamrita, then you can actually understand this subject matter and attain the law. Ekaman, with one point attention, one should hear and study this book. And then 35th verse is writing about Mantra Guru Yate Are Siksha Guru Age Pranam. Let me offer first to my instructing spiritual master. Is quoting example of who is that Krishna Karnamrita, Bilomangal Thakur. Chintamani was instructing and Somagiri was initiating. He is quoting that verse, and later on he explained 35th verse, before or after that verse is quoted. So there is describing about this. Let me offer my respectful obeisances to instructing, initiating, that is not Nityananda, and instructing Rupa and Raghunath, these two or direct instructing spiritual masters. There, Prabhupada writes important purport, quoting Jiva Goswami of Bhakti Sandarbha, that one can only understand this devotion service, pure devotion service, love of God, only through association of pure devotees. One should associate, in the association only one can practice, one can understand, one can develop this love. Otherwise, he won't be able to. And second, three paragraphs are there. And second paragraph is writing, if one is trying to not take initiation, he will be baffled. He won't be able to actually attain anywhere. He can't go anywhere. He can't even, he has to take birth again and again. Prabhupada writing, quoting Jiva Goswami in this three paragraph. So one should put himself under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual. Third paragraph, Prabhupada is writing. Second paragraph is calling out clearly. If one is not taking initiation and calling himself as an advanced devotee or a great devotee, he will be simply baffled. He won't be able to go anywhere in the transcendental subject matter. So he must. The third paragraph is calling out that one should put himself under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master and getting trained by him, so that he can follow the path, he can understand this transcendental subject matter, and he can gradually attain it. Very important point. Because we are talking about the Nitya Siddha Bhakta. Why should I associate? Why should I understand? Before this verse only, it's been described already, which is quoted by in Uddhava Gita. Lord Krishna is describing to in 26th chapter, I think, yeah, 11th canto, 26th chapter, if I remember correctly. Pururavas pastime has been described. Who described? Narada Muni is discussing in directly in the heavenly planets. Indra's kingdom is describing. That Lord Krishna is relating that pastime to Uddhava about associating with pure devotees. Tato sajjeta buddhiman. Who's buddhiman? Who's intelligent? Tato dussanga usrija, he will give up unwanted association, and then he will associate Santa Evas. Santa means great devotee. Santa Evasya Chindanti. He can only cut this material knot. Evas Mano Vyasanga Uktabihi. Not only the hard knots of the external bodily attachments, but also mano, mind. Mind has the biggest problem. Mind is the one which is bringing all kinds of speculations and unwanted things, unwanted desires, impure desires, unwanted thoughts, always. Mano vyasanga muktavi, all the vasanas of mind is going to remove by Santa Evasya Chandanti. This is elaborately described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially if you want to refer, then it will be 22 chapter, 23rd chapter, almost 5 chapters, Sanatana section is there. In that elaborately the pure devotees association is described, instructed to Sanatana Goswami by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. N number of verses there, direct verses there. Mahat Kripa kon bhakti nai. You cannot, Mahat Kripa vina, without the association mercy of Mahat Kripa, kon bhakti nai. You can't perform any bhakti. Samsara nahi kshay. Krishna bhakti dure raho. Put bhakti on the side. Even to actually to your samsara itself, you will have a difficulty to maintain it and just follow a routine. Samsara nahi kshay. If you don't have Mahat Kripa. Mahat Kripa vina kon karma bhakti nahi. Famous verse of Sanatana Shiksha. And many other verses are there. Of Prahlad Maharaj verse is also there in that. Naisham atistavad urukramangim anardha apagam tadartha mahiyasam padarajo abhishekam nishkinchana nana pranita yavat. You have to take the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees. Otherwise, you yourself cannot, swadhyay cannot work. Others instructing you is not going to work. You need the association of pure devotees. That is what is. Prahlad Maharaj is telling, instructing Hiranyakashipu. He was so proud of his ability and strength. Where did you learn, Prahlad? Where did you learn? Who has taught you? Where did you get this energy to even go against me? I'm telling so many things. You're only a small child. Where did you get this power and strength to speak against me? So, proudly. He said, you got the same strength. Also from the same Lord, same person, I and you. But you can't become Krishna conscious by yourself, neither by others, because you are Graha Vrat. But so much enamored by the soft bed, gold and money and everything that you yourself are in great suffering. But you think you are enjoying. So that's why it is better place for you to go to forest. You don't put yourself anxiety and others on anxiety. You can't become Krishna conscious like this. You better associate with pure devotees. That is the only way you can actually become purified, become peaceful. Otherwise, you will not have any peace yourself, and then you will not make others also keep others peaceful. So that way, many other verses are there about this pure devotion. So here also talking about Nitya Siddha Bhakta. Purport by Prabhupada, perfect servitors of the Lord are considered his personal associates. Whereas, of course, the famous verse is there of Navadvip Dham. Gauranga Bhakta Gane Sangi, Nitya Kari Mani, Brajendra Sutapas, forget the last one. One who associates with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, devotees, then he can attain the Krishna Prema. Gauranga Sangi Gani, Nitya Siddha. They are the eternal associates. Whereas devotees endeavoring to attain perfection are called neophytes. Among the associates, some are attracted with opulence in the further description. Like even within the pure devotees, Nitya Siddha Bhakta, some are attracted with opulence, Aishwarya. Jagannath Puri, Dwarka Dham is Aishwarya, but little further down is Vaikunta is first, Vaikunteswara, Balaji you can call. So Aishwarya, opulence is there. Lakshmi Narayan, this is Aishwarya Bhav. Further, as you go up, Dwarka is a little less to that degree. Some more intimacy is there in Dwarka, Jagannath Puri. And then Mathura, more intimate. Further goes down to Golok Vrindavan through Ayodhya. Ayodhya also, little more intimacy than Vaikunta. Then it goes up and up. Especially Golok Vrindavan, complete intimacy. That's why it's called Gaurava. Gaurava Sakya, Gaurava Dasya, Gaurava Vatsalya. Vishramba Sakya, Vishramba Vatsalya, Vishramba Dasya, Vishramba Madhurya. Very intimate. So, because they don't think that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. They think both are on the same level. Lord wants to be controlled by them. So that's why that is been written. Second, the former devotees are placed in the realm of Vaikuntha to render reverential devotion. That's why you have three dhams. Aishwarya Dham, Jagannath Puri, Dwarka, Aishwarya Dham, and Madhurya Dham is Vrindavan, and then you have Audarya Dham, so which is Navadvip Dham, Mayapur Dham, Sri Dham, Mayapur. So Vrindavan Dham is Madhurya Dham. So in this way, three dhams. In one sense, all three are there in one also, in all three also, not different one another. It's very subtle. It's difficult to explain everything, but that's how. But directly to just say naturally, then three dhams are divided like that. But in sense, everything is there. Rather, it is written by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writing in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Originally, it started in Sridham Mayapur. This pure love of Krishna Prema has started, initiated there. Then it was brought to Jagannath Puri because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was born there, 24 years. Then he came to stayed in Jagannath Puri and he took to also Vrindavan. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writing in, I think, Antilila or Madhyalila is writing that aspect. But you understand, within the Nitya Siddha Bhaktas, there is a Vaikuntha Vasis, then Ayodhya Vasis, Dwaraka Vasis, Mathura Vasis, which is imbued with opulence. So that's why Lakshmi Devi is still meditating, still trying to attain Krishna, but she couldn't attain because she doesn't want to give up her opulence, she doesn't want to give up her position in Aishwarya Bhav. So without you becoming a gopi, you can't enter into the Radha and Krishna's Leela, Rasa Leela. Like even for Lord Shiva wants to enter, then he had to become a gopi by taking the instruction from Purnamasi and Vrunda Devi, then entered into Manasi Ganga, then he became a gopi, and then he entered into the Ras. That's why he's Gopeswar Mahadev, like that. Naradiya gopi, Arjuniya gopi. As to gopi, then only you can enter into Vrindavan Ras. It's different. It's not, the Aishwarya Bhav is not there. But it's a Madhurya Bhav in Golok Vrindavan. So that is being described here. More intimate, but from in Ayodhya also, this intimacy is not there. This is all explained in Bhagavad Bhagavatam with much more detail. So that's what this verse is talking about. Nitya Siddha. So that's why we should associate with Nitya Siddha Bhaktas as practitioners. Three ways you can attain pure devotion service through eternal. You can become through practice also. You can become eternal associates. Sometimes Prahlad Maharaj is described as like that, as he is both sadhaka plus Nitya Siddha. Through sadhaka, then he became eternal associate. So in few places like that it is mentioned. And then Kripa Siddhi, through the mercy of a devotee, the mercy of the Lord. Kripa Siddhi, mostly mercy of the devotee more so than the Lord. Lord will give his mercy after the mercy of the devotee. Kripa Siddhi. And then sadhana siddha. Sadhana siddha is extremely rare. To get just by our own sadhana, to attain perfection and attain Krishna's mercy, Krishna prema, which is almost like impossible task. So only thing we have is the middle one is Kripa Siddhi. So that's why everywhere it's stressed. Take the association of devotees and take the get initiated from a spiritual master and all these things. Bhagavad Gita also, foundation also same thing is mentioned. The fourth chapter, transcendental knowledge. We have to sharpen your intelligence. Then you have to surrender evam parampara praptam, and then proper Lord writes at the end, 4.34, I think. तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवा उपदेक्षन्ते ज्ञानम ज्ञानिना तत्वदर्शिना. That तत्वदर्शी is guru, spiritual master. You have to do three things: submit to him, pranipat prakrishta rupe nepata is submission, and sevaya, vishrambhena sevanam. There it doesn't say gaurava. Yes, you offer respect to the spiritual master, but it is intimate service. That is also I will show that verse and describe. That is in, I think, Antyalila. No, this is in Srimad, I think, one of the verses in Sanatan Siksha, I think. Four verses together, there it has been written. For pure devotion, one has to have a great interest in reading and relishing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating and serving these advanced devotees and sadhus, and loving, so much interest in serving the deity, serving the Lord, loving devotion service. These three, four things, one who has developed this kind of thing, then they can actually come to Krishna Prema. Otherwise, it is not possible. So that is also mentioned. So that's why we have to develop this. This can only be developed by associating with sadhus and pure who has it, who has these qualities, intensity, fire. You associate, then you get the fire. It's like a magnet. So if you are with fire, you will get the heat and everything. You can also be heated up. Same thing. So that's what we have to understand. So that's why Nitya Siddha Bhakta has been very much stressed everywhere throughout Bhagavad Gita. Mahatmanastu mam par daivim prakratam asrita. So that also. So Mahat Sevan Dwaram Ahur Vimukte Yoshitam Sangi Sangam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Rishabhadev's instruction. Mahat Seva, by serving the Mahats, means great devotees, pure devotees. So that's what, from this verse we have to understand two aspects. This is from the first verse. Vande Gurun Isha Bhakta. This is Isha Bhakta. Next two verses are describing Ishavatarakan, that has three subcategories. And then Tat Prakasha has two, which is Lord Krishna himself, like he performed Ras Leela, he himself expanded, same features, no difference. When he expanded as billions of gopis, he was also billion, so or half billion, he is in between. Expand, or when he married 16 to 108 in Dwaraka Leela, so there also he himself expanded those many, the same features. So that is Prakash. But the second of Prakash, that Prakash has Prakash and Vilas. The Vilas is Lord Balaram. Slight difference in features. So that's why it becomes Vilas. If it is same feature, it is Prakash, that is Krishna himself. But if it is a difference in feature, then Balaram and Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Narayan. This is Prakasha. So that is this what the first verse is very important and remember. One has to remember 6 things. I repeat again. Gurun is 2. Instructing, initiating. Initiating is only one. Prabhupada writing in the purport. Many verses. You can have only one guru. Initiating guru is only one. Mantra guru is only one. Instructing, you can have many. That also ideally you have less, 2 or 3 or 4. Because when you receive multiple instructions, whom you will consider, because our mind is so fickle. We have hard to understand, digest, and the Shastra and everything, then it will become more difficult. So that's it. Ideally, to have, lesser degree. So, especially if it is the advanced devotee of Siksha Guru, there are different levels in that also. So then it should be one at the best or maximum two. But other, you hear, so they're all in one way or the other Siksha Gurus, so there that could be many. But ideally, you're seeking the input and guidance and for advancement, understanding your position, what's causing different things, problems in progressing devotion service, what we should, which road we should go. All these things has to be considered with these initiating spiritual master and instructing those who are in the advanced stage. Was much above. So that's why Bhagavatam describes that also, considering in relation with this verse. 100th verse in the same chapter, I think 100th verse. Srimad Bhagavat Ardhanam Asayo Rasikosa Sajadiya Snigde Sadhu Satovrate. So one must associate with this Snigdha, advanced devotee, one who speaks it up in devotion service, in all the aspects of devotion service. Srimad, then only you can understand Srimad Bhagavat Ardhanam Asayo Rasiko Sa. You have to become Rasik. So that's why you'll see in Vyasdev's also pastime of Nardamuni. Vyasdev, Nardamuni tells, you're not happy, you diverted everybody into this Veda Vadarata part, the attractive, giving attraction to. If you worship this demigod, you'll get this one. Like this only you were instructed. You have written all these things. You better write. You are not happy, and you didn't make anybody happy. You didn't give directly Krishna. You better write something transcendental, pure. So then Nardamuni describing there the qualities of the person, the fixed up devotee. When one can understand the pure subject matter, there it is. Three qualities are described of Vyasdev. He went in Samadhi there. There it is described. Suchisrava, first one. Then Satyavrata, second one. Third one is Dritavrata. Uh, Suchisrava, one should be externally clean, internally clean. Suchisrava. Then Satyavrata, he should be honest, truthful to himself. You should understand the goal, you should understand his position, what problem, everything in truth. So Prabhupada goes to such an extent to explain and he says about the truth. Even to enemy, you're supposed to tell the truth. That's what Chanak Pandit says. That's how Baladev Vidyabhushan speaks. Prabhupada quotes Baladev Vidyabhushan and explains. Satyavrata, and then Drutavrata. Druta means very much fixed up. That's why we take Sankalpa. For Ekadasi, we are supposed to take Sankalpa as well. Day before or the same day morning. When you take Sankalpa, you on the strength of the Lord and Guru, you don't break it. No matter what, you do it. Whatever, these many rounds, whatever you're planning to do, you take Sankalpa. That is the ideal way, always, so that you follow through it. Oh, now I'm hungry, or now I'm this or that, let me eat 3 times, 10 times. So those things may not happen, you control. So it's very good to take Sankalpa for Janmashtami, Ram Navami, Narsingh Chaturdasi. What you're going to do? What kind of devotion practice are you going to follow? That is Sankalpa. Any yajna. Your Sankalpa is a very common thing. For marriage, everywhere you have Sankalpa. That means you are asking, taking the mercy of the Lord and the devotees, pujaris, on their strength, you are going to do something. Because on our own strength, we can't do much. So that is the idea. So that's why the eternal associate, pure devotees, advanced devotees association is very much needed. And that is a prominent point. One day guru is needed, two gurus. Isha Bhaktan, after the gurus, then you have pure sadhus. Because three things you always Shastra, because Shastra Adhikar you may not understand. You may read Shastra, but how do you know? What is your position? So what applies to you? How do you know? Then you need sadhu and guru both. Guru and then sadhu to corroborate, because guru is not around, somebody to tell you, instruct you, suggest you. So that's a sadhu, shastra, guru, three things are there. So that's why you have Vande Guru, Isha Bhaktan, that is sadhus. So Isha Bhaktan, which has two different categories here. Then Ishavatarakan, there is a second, next verse, we're going to describe three different manifestations or incarnations, not manifestations, incarnations, three different incarnations. And then Tat Prakasa is Krishna and Balram, Balram slash Narayan slash Chaturvyuha. That is the Prakash aspect, Prakash and Vilas. Prabha, Prakash slash Vilas. That is coming under Tat Prakasa. Tat Shakti, that is Shakti Tattva category, from Radharani to Gopis to Dwarka, Queens Mahishis to Lakshmis to Durgas. That is Shakti category. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So that is the six subject matter, six truths in the first verse. I hope it is clear and you can remember it. Now we'll go to the next verse. If you have any questions, you can say about 7 minutes. And let's cover this. Then, if there is comments, questions, I can discuss it. ईश्वरेरवतार ये तीन प्रकार हंस अवतार आर गुण अवतार. There are three types. Ishavatarakan, three incarnations, three categories of incarnation. Shakti avatar, Tritiya Emat. So here Amsa avatar is one, Guna avatar is second, Shakti is three. When it is described. Amsa avatar Purusha Matsyadikata. Example also given. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. There are three categories of incarnations of Godhead: partial incarnations, qualitative incarnations, and empowered incarnations. The Purushas and Matsya are examples of partial incarnations. So, understand this basically. Incarnations are many are there in your six broad categories, but in this specific instance, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describing three categories mainly. In this particular, Tat Prakar, Isha Avatarakan, Isha Avatarakan. In that category, third one, Vande Guru, Isha Bhaktan, Isha Avatarakan, Tat Prakasam, Tat Shakti, Krishna Chaitanya Sangam. These six aspects. We are talking about the third aspect, Avataran, Isha Avatarakan. First one is partial, Amsa. Amsa and Kala, partial incarnation. That is the first category. Then you have Guna Avatar, qualitative incarnation, which is very easy to understand. Guna means quality. Sattva Guna, Raja Guna, Tama Guna. Goodness, passion, ignorance. Who are they? Lord Vishnu is maintaining his goodness. Lord Brahma is passion. Lord Shiva, Rudra, especially in ignorance. In charge. Doesn't mean they are in that mode. They are the in charge. They are called Guna avatars. So that is easy to know and easy to remember also, Guna avatar. The Amsa avatar will come and then Shakti Avesha. Shakti Avesha avatar means you're empowered, authority. Different places it's a term, Sanskrit terms are one place it is authority, one place is empowered. Other term is Shakti Avesha avatar. In that also two categories are the Amsa. Amsa means partial. Examples are like as it is mentioned. Matsya avatar, Purushas. Purushas means three Purusha avatars. Quality Purusha avatars means Karana Udaka Sai Vishnu. Karanodaka Sai Vishnu. That is the first. And then Garbha Udaka Sai Vishnu. Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And third one is Kshira Udaka Sai Vishnu. Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. These are three Purusha avatars. When it comes to material world creation, so these three Purusha avatars are indirectly, they are doing some aspect of it. Just sending the glands, activating the material elements, all that. That's what they are doing. Because they are still Lord Vishnu, not directly in touch with material world. That is done by Brahma and Lord Shiva, especially Shambho. So comes into picture and actually does the thing. So in terms of the actual directly dealing with the material and material world is done by these two personalities only. Durga Devi, because the glance is transferred from Rama Devi, Lord Vishnu's consort, and Mahavishnu, transferred into Rudra and Shambho and his wife. And then this creation is happening. Until that, it is not happening. Three modes are not coming into picture. Until the glance, the time factor is coming into picture, then three modes, and then starts cooking. Then only this world is coming as a Big Bang theory, whatever you may want to call. That is secondary aspect. But Shastra is clear about it. How is it happening? So those three Purusha avatars are indirectly the efficient cause. Material cause, you can say 26 elements are a material cause, or you can say Lord Brahma is a material cause, or Rudras are a material cause, but the actual cause is the Lord Vishnu. But is indirect. His touch is not directly. Is not directly in touch. Is delegating that power to Rudra and Shambho. Is further higher than Rudra. Above that is Sadasiv, who doesn't even get into this picture at all. That is done by Shambho. Sadasiv is completely aloof from all these things. So he is in Vaikuntha Loka. So three Purusha avatar like that. Karana ocean is there. Between the material world, spiritual, there's a Karana ocean. That's where this Karanodaka Sai Vishnu. His life is, so his time limit in comparison to others is very, very, like all this Brahmanda creation and destruction is just by his fraction. His Nidra is like Yoga Nidra. Only fraction of seconds. Because By his just his breathing in, breathing out, the universe are coming like a bubbles. Is especially Karana. Is sitting in between the two material spiritual world. It's Karana ocean, Karana Jal. It's like just like ordinary salty ocean. That is Karana Jal, his name. Karana, that's why it's called Karanodaka Sai Vishnu. These three are expansions of Nityananda Balaram. You look at the seventh verse, which were the 7 to 11 in the first chapter, you will see that Sankarshana Tosha Sai, Garbhoda Sai, Chirobda Sai, Nityananda Ramakyam, Namastu. That verse describing these three are expansion of Lord Nityananda Balaram. Everything we should know like that. And so that is a Karanodika Sai Vishnu. Then his expansion is bubbles came out. Then somebody has to do something. Without Vishnu, nothing happens. First, Vishnu has to do his job. Then he can delegate. So again, Vishnu has to enter into Garbha Odaka ocean also. That is the second aspect. That is called Garbhodaka because he is producing that ocean from his skin, sweat itself. He can fill. Our sweat is not like that. We can only produce a little bit. That is Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Within each universe is there underneath all the way down. And then again, third expansion is Kshira Odaka. There is a Kshira Sagara ocean. Lord Brahma and demigods goes when there is problem. We can't see it right now because we are not pure to see. So that is Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, which is Paramatma also called, is there in every atom. So that is the third Vishnu. These are three Purusha avatars. They are Lord Vishnu only. Expansion of Lord Nityananda, further expansion, much down. There are three Purusha avatars. And Matsya avatar, these are coming under partial because each incarnate has specific purpose. Partial means they don't exhibit all opulence, everything in full. Like when Lord Krishna comes, he will exhibit full. So Lord Rama comes little less, like that. So three, that's the partial incarnations. That is the first category in this. And then Guna avatar, which I explained, qualitative, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Rudras. And then Sektavesh avatar has a Bhagavat Avesh and Sektavesh, empowered, but in two categories. In that category, some of them are Lord Vishnu, some of them are Jiva Tattva, like Vyasdev is Jiva Tattva. They are empowered with different things. Narada Muni is empowered with Bhakti Shakti. So Vyasdev to write transcendental literature. Prithu Maharaj with Palana Shakti, how to rule. And Ananta with Budharana Shakti to hold, as Ananta Dev is holding all these universes like a mustard seed, is not feeling any weight because he's expanding Lord Nityananda Balaram. His master, he can do anything, magic. So, and then in Vaikunta, so Lord Nityananda Balaram's expansion again, Sesha there is also Sekta Vaishavatar. Like that, six prominent ones. Parsuram is also empowered different. No? This is Dushta Vinasaka Shakti. Each one is empowered with certain category, certain power, empowerment. So that's why they are called Shakti. These are all Shaktya, Vaishavatar. They are in the, most of them are in Jiva Tattva category. Few of them are in the Vishnu category. Lord Kapila and then Rishabhadev, few are mentioned in few different places. Bhagavad Avesh or primary and secondary. Different divisions or different ways it is explained. Primary, these are the 6 or 7 of them from, but there are many others empowered. Sometimes spiritual masters, Acharyas, Ramanacharya, Prabhupada, Madhvacharya, they are also Siktavis because without empowerment, how can you transform this whole world? General Guru, you can transform, maybe you can establish a temple, you can create some disciples. To establish the whole world, maybe you can do in India, and maybe, to find a Guru who can do the whole world, they have no understanding of Sanatana Dharma, what is Bhagavad Dharma, who is Supreme Lord, God is one or many, or who he is, where does he live. To teach that and inculcate in their heart can only be done by Parampara Acharya. Ramanacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Vishnu Swami, Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta. These Parampara Acharyas can do. Ordinary Guru cannot do. Ordinary can take the mercy from Parampara Acharya and establish. At a lower grade. That's the ordinary Guru and Parampara Acharya, there is a difference. So that they are called Prabhupada title is also used in these cases. So that's why you have to understand these things. So Sektavesh can be considered even them also. So these great acharyas. So in this way, the 3 aspects of incarnations, Isha Avatarakan is explained as in these 3 different categories: partial incarnations, Gunavataras, qualitative incarnations, and Sektavesha avatar. So that's how. So these 3 verses are we're describing. I'll just refer and we'll close it. 803 already. because when I mentioned I had to give example, another point also I had to mention. So 135 here on the Jiva Goswami, prominent purport. Later on you can refer it. Jiva Goswami quoting Bhakti Sandarbha. What is he writing here? By associating with devotees of Lord Krishna, one develops a sense of Krishna consciousness, thus becomes inclined toward loving service. This is the process of approaching Supreme Law by gradual appreciation. That is the first paragraph, main essence. Okay. Otherwise, it's not possible. Second paragraph, essence. If one develops the love for Krishna by Krishna conscious act, one can know the Supreme Absolute, but who tries to understand God simply by logical argument will not succeed, will not get a taste for unalloyed devotion. Secret is that one must submissively listen to those who know perfectly science of God. One must begin the mode of service regulated by preceptor, means initiating guru. A devotee already attracted by these things, and Prabhupada writing further. The expert spiritual master knows well how to engage disciples' energy in loving. A devotee must have only one initiating spiritual master, and then he can have many instructing spiritual master. In third paragraph, I mixed, I think, second and third, but he's writing here, very important. One should always remember that a person who is reluctant to accept spiritual master and be initiated is sure to be baffled in his endeavor to go back home. One who is not properly initiated may present himself as a great devotee, but in fact he is sure to encounter many stumbling blocks on his path of progress towards spiritual realization, with the result that he must continue his term of material existence without relief. Such a helpless person is compared to a ship without rudder. Prabhupada writing all this. That's why Prabhupada is writing. There is no difference between the spiritual master and instructor. That's why Vani is also important. Prabhupada, sometimes you may not be a spiritual master. He has many disciples, or he has left this Prakat Leela and he is doing now Aprakat Leela. Then what do? You have to hear. One thinks that is above, the Prabhupada is also writing important point. In his absence, therefore, is the words of direction should be the pride of a disciple. Hear it and carry it, put in the heart, and then do something with it. If one thinks that this is what many times devotees doesn't consult anybody, they will take their own decision, they will do their own things. So Prabhupada writing, see here. If one thinks that is above consulting anyone else, including a spiritual master, he is at once, what is that? Offender. We should better know and follow it through. We have taken aspirable initiation, you better start consulting for important things. For each and everything, you can consult a guru unless it is related to devotion service and a very important subject matter, or you consult with other Siksha gurus. If you don't consult, what is it called here? That once an offender at the lotus, because otherwise what purpose have you taken initiation? If you yourself is guru, then why did you take initiation then? If you know everything, you are a perfected soul, then why are you here in the material suffering? And so that thing has to be considered. Such an offender can never go back home, back to God. Direct statement. Prabhupada is writing here. It is imperative that a serious person accept a bona fide spiritual master in terms of Shastric injunctions. Sri Jiva goes to advise that one not accept a spiritual master in terms of hereditary, customary. This is also in India, it is very prominent. The Kula gurus are there many times. Ecclesiastical conventions, one should simply try to find a genuinely qualified spiritual master for actual advancement in spiritual understanding. Another point also I will show, so that we are very clear what is the role of bona fide spiritual master, why it is so important to surrender and submit 100% and follow his instructions. Second point is instructing in the case of when he is saying, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying his own example, how he submit Radha Madan Mohan deity. There in the purport Prabhupada is writing, one should place himself under the guidance of advanced, pure spiritual master. Then only you can get the directive of a Paramatma. Otherwise, Paramatma is not going to direct living entity. What you should do, what you should not do. Mind only telling. We're thinking Paramatma is telling. So that's the submission is required here. Prabhupada writing. Important verse purport. 878. Author is Guru and Krishna's order. 78. See the purport in the second paragraph especially. To engage in the service of the Lord is a natural function of the living entity, but because he is covered by influence of Maya, material, and he thinks it to be very difficult task. But if he places himself under the guidance of a spiritual master and does everything sincerely, that means we have to hear every day. You hear recorded or you hear directly live, but better note down. Sincerely means you are noting down, you are trying to do something of what he is instructing. Regularly we have to do that. Immediately, what will Lord will do? Immediately, the Lord will situate within everyone's heart, dictates how to serve him. Right now, he is not doing it because we are not submissive enough, we are not sincere enough to follow the guidance. Yeah, I heard his class. But what did you learn and what responsibility have you taken it? How much have you implemented it? How much percentage you are able to do last few years? Now, what task, what change you are going to do to go further? These things has to be, this is, bhakti is always about these things, introspection, meditation, contemplation, all these things are required. Then only it is bhakti, as well deeper bhakti. Otherwise, the external only, Bairanga bhakti. So these things are required. Immediately, the Lord who is situated within everyone dictates how to serve him. He will dictate because Paramatma is watching. Paramatma is saying that he is submitting to my representative. Then I have to give him guidance. Because he is inspired by my representative, then I should help him. If he is not inspired, then why? If he is not even, I am sending my representative, he is taken initiation, but aram se. Yes, I will also become aram se. You do whatever, many lifetimes you can go on. I will also come along with you what to do. I can guide you because you are not really surrendered. You have taken Indian only formality, no real devotion or intention to follow or hear and do something about it. Then what can Lord do? Nothing much. You cannot do anything. Whatever pure devotee does is done by the dictation of Supreme Lord. Thus, it is confirmed with the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that whatever he wrote was written under the direction of Sri Madan Mohan Deity. That's why this is what, if you are right, if you are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, you are hearing, you better know why he is submitting every chapter. Are we submitting like that? If you really want mercy, really want a true follower of Chaitanya Charitamrita, you better submit every day. Like Krishna Das Kaviraj was submitting. He is submitting every day to every chapter regularly, even within chapter you will see so many times. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda is submitting, but every chapter is submitting Rupa Raghunath Padare As. Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Das. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. I am submitting to Rupa and Raghunath, 6 Goswamis, Rupa and Raghunath are direct instructing spiritual master. So that means how much submission is there. You can see that. So that's why the fire is there. If there is no submission, you forget your spiritual master, then his Vani, his instructions, every day one is supposed to remember, especially if you are taking initiation. So otherwise, it doesn't help. We will become always be conditioned only. We can't get up from that condition. So that is the crux of the matter when we discuss about Parishad and Sadhaka. We are on Sadhaka, that's why we need Parishad's help, eternal associates of the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyway, I think our time is up. So many things to be said. Prabhupada is also writing. Prabhupada is conversing in there. When Prabhupada was there, 1960, 70 to 75, he is discussing. Don't try to become a guru. First, I gave you the order, I gave you sannyas, I told you many things. First, carry on. When living guru is there, don't try to become a guru. Based on the order, guru knows when you can become guru. When he gives order, then you become a guru. No, these are all serious statements. You see the Prabhupada conversation, you will understand. It's not that's why it's not easy to take the role of Guru unless one is empowered by his preceptor has to empower. Otherwise, many may can become Guru, but there is no empowerment, then Shakti is less. Power, purity, power, force, fire has to be there. Then only one can do. Transforming his heart and others. Otherwise, it's impossible to stay in this material world and transform our heart. It's a highly impossible task. Only when the purity is there of a devotion, of a parampara acharya, he has obtained it, then he can give it to others. Otherwise, it's not possible. You'll find so many gurus in this world. So they are not empowered by previous acharya. They have become self-made gurus. Then there is no way you can make any devotion. Come to any devotion, real devotion. Anyway, Gandhara Srimad Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktamandu ki jai. Thank you very much for patiently listening. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय हिमाचल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. Thank you. Any comments, reflections, corrections, or questions? You can go ahead. One, maybe already told.
Hare, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu,
Good.
I need to know from you that what is the, I did not read Chaitanya Mangal also, and I did not read the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But what is the what written in Chaitanya Mangal and what written in
Yeah,
Chaitanya Charitamrita?
yeah. This is Chaitanya Mangal. And Chaitanya Mangal and Chaitanya Bhagavat. It is the same thing. So there is a slight difference. Initially, it was called Chaitanya Mangal, which is written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. That is the more pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Less philosophy, more Leela Katha, you can say. So that is written by Vrindavan Das. Initially, it is called Chaitanya Mangal. Then, because there was another Chaitanya Mangal written by Lochan Das Thakur, like in terms of like in a song pattern, more of a song. So then later on, then Krishnadas Mani wrote. Then that is been termed as Chaitanya Charitamrita, which has lots of philosophy. And then Leela also is there. Madhya Leela, Anta Leela, lots of Leela, but Adi Leela is full of philosophy. In Madhya Leela, Anta Leela also some philosophy is there. Sanatana Siksha, Rupa Siksha, Ramananda, Samvad, Sarvam Bhattacharya Siksha. So many Siksha is also there. But lots of Leela is also there, Madhya and Antya. So, but Chaitanya Bhagavat, uh, so of Vrindavan Das Thakur is filled with lots of Leela. Instructions are there, but lesser philosophy and more prominent, wonderful pastimes of Lord Nityananda Balaram and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mangala Avlochan Das Thakur describing all the way where it started. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before appearing, is describing where how Narada Muni got it. Narada Muni got to know that Gauranga is going to appear. They're discussing with Lord Shiva and many other things. All this in Vaikuntha, Lord Balaram went to different place, different met the Lord. So all that description goes from Adi, Madhya, Antya, even Chaitanya Mangala also. 1 minute. I'll show you the book. So that this is a Chaitanya Mangal. This is Chaitanya Mangal written by Lochan Das Thakur. On the front, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On the back, you will see Nityananda Balaram. This is the Chaitanya Mangal. Short book, more pastimes. That also more pastimes in a song. And then Vrindavan Das Thakur is Chaitanya Bhagavat. And then this is called Chaitanya. These are the three principal, you can say, three main books. But many other books are there. Prabodhana Sarva Chaitanya Chandramrita, Raghunath Das Goswami have written Gauranga Stava Prakash, uh, many other books I'm forgetting now. Of course, Murari Gupta Karacha, Kavi Karnapur, which is Shivananda Sen's son. Three sons are there, Chaitanya Das, and I'm forgetting the second name, and the third name is Kavi Karnapur. So, so he is written also Chaitanya. What is it called? I forget his title. And there is a Jagannath Vallabh Nataka that is there in a drama. And then there is you have what is that? Kunal Gupta Kalcha, I already told the Jagannath Vallabh Nataka. There's one more as well. Forgetting. Like the many eight or ten books are there. Different authors. Of course, Swarup Damodar Goswami's diary and Raghunath Das Goswami's diary. These are the prominent. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami picked up all these, most of them are from these two diaries because these are the two prominent very closely because Raghunath Das Goswami with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu under the care of Swarup Damodar Goswami for almost 15 years or so. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ended his pastimes, he's ready to, he want to go to Vrindavan and jump from Govardhan hill and give up his life. Hmm. So when he went to Vrindavan, he met Rupa and Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Then they told, they forbade him. They took under his shelter and then they were discussing. Raghunath Das Goswami, not ordinary. He is eternal associate. Then he was sharing. So he's rasa. So and he's not ordinary. That's why he's offering, 1,000 obeisances, to 2,000 obeisances to sadhus, so others, other Vaishnavas. He's chanting so many 300,000, 100,000 names. sleeping less than 1.5 hour, less than 2 hours. This is his schedule. Raghunath Das Goswami. That is not ordinary. Is a acharya of Prayojana Acharya, Radha Gopinath, Raghunath Das Goswami. So in this way, but we are supposed to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. That also we should hear first, a lot to hear, and then we can read because it becomes difficult to understand. Otherwise, it will become just like a book reading, but it doesn't. We don't understand what the instruction is, what is real meaning is, or it becomes difficult after lots of hearing, multiple times reading. So especially Adilila is more difficult to understand and read, study, because lots of philosophy, technical points. But if you read Madhyalila, Antilila, you'll be okay. Then you can come back to Adilila and study it. So, yeah. Is that clear? Ashish Karna Jagannath Prabhu.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. But my question is that yes, whatever you explained properly, you already mentioned all the books and everything. But question is that Chaitanya Mangal has the
Mhm.
uh, does Chaitanya Mangal have Madhulila and Antrila also, Prabhu?
Yes. All three books has. I just showed in that Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, Anta Lila. But not exactly these pastimes because Vrindavan talk, each one is author is not trying to compete. That's why Krishna Das is writing. I'm just chewing the remnant. On the order of Vrindavan Das Thakur, I'm writing this. I'm chewing the remnants. I'm only writing what he didn't elaborately write. That's what I've been ordered to write. So I'm writing where he didn't elaborate some of the things. That's where I'm writing. You will mention some of the things which Vrindavan, you will say that also. This is what he already Vrindavan Das Thakur covered. I will not elaborate much. So that's how Krishnadas Guru. So that's a, you will find some few similarities between the books, but mostly you will not find duplicate or anything. So some of the past tense little bit brief, and here you may find detail, or here it's brief. There in Chaitanya Bhagavat you will find great detail. So there also, that's why it's almost 8 books or 9 books or 7, 8 books in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Adi, Madhya, Antya. Each one is 2, 3 books. Especially Madhya is 3 books. Adi is 2 books. Antya is 2 or 3 books. So same thing here also. Krishna, Chaitanya Charitamrita is also like that. Because this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, no? 3 divisions are there. So that's why they also divided like that. Adi, Madhya, Anta. So what is there in difficulty in understanding or thinking why it is done like that? Because that's how his life is section categorized as, so that it's very clear. Before sannyas, after sannyas, when he went to Gambhir, only it's prominent. Before that, he was also with all devotees, Ratha Yatra, and so many things. But last few years, completely seclusion. So next to Jagannath Puri with Sarup Damodar and Ramanand Roy, and then Shankara Pandit becoming a pillow of him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So a few others are there, but these three are prominent. Uh, yeah, is that clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Got it.
Okay.
No, humble obeisances to everyone, Prabhu. To you. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
I think we will conclude. Time is up. I have another class also. I'm already late for that. Okay, thank you very much. Stop here to go. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow Parna time is I think 7:19 to 10:21 or so. We'll post it anyway. But it's 7:19 afterwards as the Parna for the others. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.